Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Pick and Roll with the Presley Bros. We're talking about the UConn Michigan championship game. But first, please subscribe to the channel. Our viewership has been up a little bit. We thank you for that. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support you've been giving to us. Please tell your friends and family about us and subscribe. Follow along for college basketball all year round. That's what we're all about. We're all about college basketball. We love it, and we're glad you are here with us. So UConn versus Michigan, the most tuned in championship game since 2019. 18 million people tuned in. I was shocked by that. I could not believe it. Tucker, what are your highlights for this game before we dive in?
Wait, do you want me to highlights before we dive in, or are we diving in?
My bad. We're diving in now. What are your highlights?
All right. Well, dude, I got to say this before. This was a nightmare matchup. Like,
oh, yeah.
If I could think about the matchup that I didn't want to see, it was UConn and Michigan. I didn't want either of these teams to win. I honestly wanted the arena lights to not work so they couldn't play the game. But
Literally.
You know what? It is it is what it is. Can't stand either of these teams, but you know what? Michigan won. And dude, I'm not going to be so blind as not recognize that this team was awesome. This was a really good team.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, they just overmatched UConn. I mean, their size and athleticism, just all over the board, they're pretty much better at every position. I mean, maybe you could argue guard, but I think at this point, Cadeau has been playing better than Ball and Demery. So, I mean, just all over the court, they just outmatched UConn. And kudos to UConn for making it close and making it a good game. But I heard somebody say Michigan's interior defense was the best that they've ever seen, or one of the best. And I'd agree with that, man. And with Adai Mara, Morez Johnson, Yaxel Lindenborg, it's a massive team. You held UConn to 30% shooting on the night, 21 of 68. Not good at all from UConn.
Yeah.
9 of 33, 27% from three is better than what Michigan did. Still not good. And honestly, it's kind of shocking. UConn did out-rebound Michigan.
That is shocking.
By 7. And they had 10 more offensive rebounds, which I just can't believe that. But they're just, at the end of the day, the defense and just, I don't know, overall balance, I think, of Michigan you think about it, in the paint, they dominated 36-22. And that's Michigan. That's vintage Michigan this year. And just a really good team, man. I mean, they really are. They've got everything. And what's his name? Yaxel Lindenborg didn't even play good. And they still handled UConn. So I'm saying, they have balance all over the place. So anyways, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. What's crazy to me is this might and give kudos to UConn, but this might have been the worst Michigan's played all year. One of the worst games they've played all year, and they still won. They were in the lead for 75% of the time.
Yeah.
And they shot only 13% from three, 2 for 15.
2 of 15 is nasty. That's terrible.
That is so bad. Now, I will say people were complaining about the Michigan whistle, how they shot 28 free throws, but Dan Hurley came out. They asked Dan Hurley about it, and he was like, everyone fouls. I have no problem with it. He said those refs are some of the best refs in the country. And I agree with him. I think that maybe it might have been a little heavy, but it's nothing egregious in my opinion. Michigan, like you said, they live in the paint. I mean, they shoot on the outside too, but they live in the paint, so they're going to get fouled more than other teams. Shocking to see to me, like you said, that they out-rebounded Michigan. And the more shocking fact to me is that Elliot Cadeau was the leading scorer for Michigan with 19, and Alex Caravan was the leading scorer for UConn with 17. I would have liked to see a better game for Terrace Reed, because I think I know Adai Mara was probably on him, maybe Morez Johnson.
Tough matchup.
It is. But he's just so much bigger. I thought that maybe he could so much bigger than both those guys. I thought that maybe he could bully them.
What are you talking about?
I feel like he's just bigger. like not taller, but like just muscle. Like he kind of just backed him down.
Maybe.
But it is hard to shoot over a 7'3" guy. So and then he stretch out his arms.
Morez Johnson's pretty thick too, though.
That's true.
Adayamara is not like a pencil either.
No, that's true. It's a great team. Michigan, people are posting all these things about Michigan being one of the best teams of all time. I'm going to go ahead and say right here that it's not even close, in my opinion. To me, Michigan, it automatically negates Michigan from being in contention when you lose to Wisconsin at home. Let's go back to one of the best teams of all time in reality is 2012 Kentucky. They lost to Indiana at Indiana by 1 point with Victor Oladipo and Cody Zeller, that team.
And that was a buzzer beater.
Yeah, exactly. They hit a buzzer beater against that team. And then they lost in the SEC tournament to Vandy, which kind of a fluke, but they ended up winning it all with 2 losses. That team, there's no way you can tell me that team is not better than this Michigan team. So that's already a fact right there. Then you go back and you talk about some of the Duke teams, UNLV, I think from 1990. Some of these teams were just absolutely incredible. So I think Michigan, I would give Michigan top 10 because they really were that good, but not number 1 and not top 5. It's really frustrating for me, this era that we are in, where you can bring in 5 transfers and win the national championship. That's just so frustrating to me. I hate that this is what the era that we're in. I mean, everyone has to do it. I just hate that it's the case because you're like, all right, we hardly recruit anymore. We hardly bring people in. Let's just pay everybody $2 million each and have the best team in the country. And that's what they did. Every single one of their starting 5, except Naomi Burnett, was not on the team last year. And he transferred too, but just not last. He was on the team the year before. So it's crazy. But you know what? Like I said, I'm talking trash about Michigan, but let me give them kudos. Congrats to them. They are a great team. There's no doubt about it. They're a great team. They've proven that they were a great team. But I don't want anyone saying that they're the best team the best team of all time, because they're not. Tell us what you think the best team ever is down below. What year, what team, maybe some players, some highlights. Give us your comments down below. Tucker, what do you think about that?
Well, let me say something about the fouls real quick. I think that was probably one of the biggest differences in this championship game. UConn had 22 fouls to 13 from Michigan. So you almost had double-digit more fouls. And I don't think it was a fluke. I think UConn legitimately was fouling, and Michigan's a physical team that lives in the paint. There's going to be more fouls, and UConn is not as good defensively as they have been in the past couple years. And they were outmatched, size-wise, all over. So the fouls make sense to me. And I think that was pretty much the difference there. The free throw shooting was amazing by Michigan, 89%, 25 of 28, and UConn went 75%, 12 of 16. So huge disparity. That's the difference there. In terms of being, Michigan being the greatest team of all time, first and foremost, for whatever reason in our culture today, we're obsessed with the greatest of all time debates. And it's got to be when a team wins, are they the greatest of all time? Where do they fit in the greatest of all time? It's why does that have to be the first thing we talk about? And it's I think a lot of times we get caught up in recency bias. It's because this is what we've seen recently, we lean on it and think, yeah, this is the best team. Anybody who's saying that this Michigan team is the greatest team of all time is either A, Michigan fan, or B, is very much caught up in recency bias. Because yes, I'm not going to say that this is not a great team. I'm willing to say they're top 10, top 15 of all time. And you said top 10. I'd say top 10 or top 15. If they're a top 10, they're definitely toward the bottom of top 10. I'd probably put them top 15. And that's saying a lot, because how many teams are there every year? There's 360 now. You talk how many thousands upon thousands of teams have there been in history of college basketball? And we're saying this is a top 15 team. That's high praise. But I could think about some deficiencies on this team. At times they went cold on the offensive end. Even in this game, they went 2 of 15 3-point shooting. They lost to Wisconsin, like you said. They had really close calls against a bad Wake Forest team, beat them by 2, I think, in overtime.
Yep.
TCU, who's not a great team, not a terrible team, barely beat them, barely skated by them. There's a couple other close calls, like against Penn State. I'm not saying that automatically negates you being, the greatest team of all time, but, they didn't have, at their best, they are one of the most dominant teams I've ever seen, but they showed
Yeah.
signs of a team that could really struggle, particularly on the offensive end this year, and at times just played down to weird competition like Penn State. Just makes no sense. And let me give you some teams, Dalton, and I want you to tell me, are they better than the Michigan team? All right.
Okay.
I'm going to give you teams just from this century. I'm not even going to talk about the team like the UCLA teams with John
Yeah.
Wooden or the undefeated Indiana team. I'm talking about teams from this century, really the last 10 to 15 years. Okay. Since we've been watching college basketball. All right. You tell me which team is better. I think you could legitimately make an argument that any of these teams is better, but I want to hear what you have to say. And guys,
Okay.
we did not talk about this beforehand. This is just right off the cuff, Dalton, right?
Yeah, it's true. We
Okay.
did not discuss this at all.
All right. So
And
let me
I already said one team is better. I already think the 2012 Kentucky team is better.
that was one I was going to throw out, but let's throw
Yeah.
out now. Let's throw out the 2015 Kentucky team with Karl Anthony Towns. That
I
lost.
mean, yeah.
They
didn't win at
lost.
all.
They only lost one game, I think, and it was that game to Wisconsin, the Final Four.
Yeah. And Wisconsin lost to Duke, right?
Yeah, lost to Duke that year.
Yeah. Yeah. And that team was, I mean, that was Devin Booker coming off the bench, right?
I think that was that team. I honestly
I
can't
think
remember.
it was. I think it was. It's hard to say that team's not better. I mean, let's see.
Kentucky
What year
basketball roster 2014, 2015. I'm looking it up right now.
I'm trying to see when he was at Kentucky. 2014. So I think he left in 2014. No. He left in 2015. First round, 13th pick in 2015. Yeah, so you had Devin Booker coming off the bench on that team, and I think it's just hard to say that team's not better.
Let me tell you who else was on this team. You had the Harrison twins, Devin Booker on the bench, Tyler Ulis, Willie Cauley-Stein, of course, Cat, Alex Poythress, a couple others guys. That was that team.
Yeah, that team is so good, and you think about like who would match up well with Michigan this year. It's that team right there. I mean, Willie Cauley-Stein, 7'1", 7'2", Cat 6'11". I mean, that team I think would have beaten this Michigan team personally. Tucker, you're freezing again.
Am I really?
Yep. Oh no, dude. Technical difficulties, guys.
Just keep going.
But I'm gonna have to give it to that Kentucky team, and I'm not even just saying this out of spite of Michigan. I really do think that you can't. I just don't know if you can honestly say that Kentucky team's not better.
Okay. By the way, that Kentucky team went 40-1. 40-1.
Wow.
Yeah. Hard to believe they didn't win it all. All right, let me give you another one here. All right. The second championship UConn team a couple years ago. So the one with Donovan Clingan, Stefan Castle, that team.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's really close to me. I was thinking about that one. I don't think the one with Adama Sanogo is better.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that either.
No, I think that UConn team is, man, it's real close. It is real close because I mean you had a huge presence in Donovan Clingan and then Stefan Castle and Cam Spencer on the outside, and obviously Alex Caravan. Like that team was just so complete. Whew. I don't know. I think I might have to give the edge to Michigan, honestly, just a little, just barely.
Yeah. I mean, this team went 37-3, by the way.
Yeah. They were an incredible team, no doubt. And they kind of just ran through everybody the same way Michigan did, kind of just beating everybody by a lot.
All right, let me give you a couple more. All right. How about I guess this would have been 2019 Duke with Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and what was the guy's name? The other dude, Cam, not Cam.
Cam Reddish. Cam
Reddish,
Reddish.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that the Michigan team is better. I do.
Okay.
I mean, the Duke team lost in the Elite Eight to Michigan State, and they were kind of they were all a little similar to this Michigan team in the fact that at their best they were unbelievably good, but showed a lot of signs because I mean they almost lost to UCF and should have lost to UCF. Should have lost that game to UCF. I mean UCF, you talk about one of the biggest sells ever. They sold that game away. So I'm definitely going to have to give Michigan the edge on that one.
Okay. How about this year's Duke team that beat
I mean,
Michigan?
they beat Michigan already, and in reality, if if they weren't dumb with the ball, if they would have just held onto the ball against UConn, they probably would have been in the championship game. Because it's Illinois. Is Illinois going to beat Duke? Probably
Maybe
not.
not.
And would Duke have beaten Michigan? Who knows? I think I have to give the edge to Duke, even though I know people say, well, Michigan just won the national championship, but Duke already beat Michigan closer to their territory. And
I would say you have to say yes.
yeah,
I mean, like,
I don't think you can say no because you got to give the head to head where it's at. You're gonna be like, oh well, they didn't win the national championship. Well, it's head to head. So
yeah,
I mean, like if they would have played again and Michigan would have beaten Duke for the national championship, then you would say Michigan's better.
yeah.
But they didn't. So I'm gonna have to give it to Duke. And I do think that Duke was probably a more of a complete team overall in the facts of they never really showed like they were never besides against Siena and when they were down two of their best players, two starters, they never showed signs of like, oh, we're struggling against TCU. They waxed TCU the next round.
Yeah.
And they waxed a bunch of other teams. They just completely talk about another sell. They sold against
Yeah.
UConn. They should have held onto the ball and they would have won the game.
All right. What about last year's Duke team with Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple and Kamen
Well,
Malawach?
I'm taking that team over this Michigan team as well
Oh, and
because
over this Duke team this
yeah,
year?
I'm taking Duke's last year over this Duke team and Michigan. They again they I'm not saying they would have beaten Florida, but they should have been in the championship versus Florida. There's something about Duke. I don't know what it is. Past couple of years, they're playing in the Final Four, they're Elite Eight, and they're just
They
like
just choke.
they just fall apart. I'm like,
Yeah,
what's
it
happening?
makes no
What's
sense.
happening?
All right,
So
final
that team
one,
was
Dalton.
okay.
You could do either of these, Gonzaga or Baylor from a couple years ago. The Gonzaga team that was undefeated and
Oh
lost to
wow.
Baylor in the championship game. You could do Baylor or Gonzaga, or do you think both are better?
I don't think Gonzaga is. And the only reason why is yes, they beat a lot of teams, but they beat UCLA on a crazy buzzer beater. And I know that UCLA team was hot, but still crazy buzzer beater. And whatever the West Coast Conference, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's pretty horrible. Like it's
bad.
bad. Besides St. Mary's, it's bad. So I just don't think I can honestly say that team is better. But that Baylor team, I don't know if I don't know if anyone was beating that team that year. I don't know.
That
I don't
team
know
was
what they went.
good.
What was their record that year? Do you have it pulled up?
I'm trying to pull it up now, but I think it's making my thing freeze. But I'm gonna pull it up anyways.
Here, I was gonna say I can pull it up instead.
So Gonzaga that year, Dalton looks like they went 31-1.
Wow, that's impressive. 28-2. Baylor went. They had Jared Butler was probably one of the best 3-point shooters I've ever seen. And then you added Davion Mitchell and Adam Flagler and Flo Thamba and LJ Cryer off the bench.
That team was insane.
Like that team was just so unbelievably good. I think I got to give it to Baylor, honestly. Just say
Yeah.
that Baylor team is better.
So I was just going to say, I think you could legitimately make the argument for any of these teams. I'm not going to say all of them. I do think the 2012 Kentucky team for sure. And you could say some more probably that we haven't even talked about.
Oh
But
yeah.
like maybe some other Duke teams you can maybe look at, maybe even a North Carolina team here or there. But like I saw a guy, and hey, we didn't even talk about Villanova, either of the Villanova championship teams. But I saw a guy rank the last 10 national champions, and he put Michigan at 4 or 3. And so, I mean, I was kind of shocked to see him that low with just the past 10 because that wouldn't include the Kentucky team. But anyways, guys, don't like, yes, congrats to Michigan. This was an insanely good team. They were the most dominant team at their best, but they're not the greatest team of all time, not even close to it. So let's just slower horses on that. Anyways, we can move on now. Congrats to Michigan.